So Briahna Joy Gray interviewed a person named Quinn Slobodian, who is talking about the wealth and the fortunes of the top 1% and how AI and the machines are taking over. Don't worry. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. It'll only get worse. The beatings will continue until the morale improves. So shout out to Briahna Joy Gray. Let's play this video.
So there is a good century now of thinking in the greater Bay Area about new forms of breeding, new forms of ranking people, and specifically how the mind can be both modeled and then ordinally assembled into a kind of a hierarchy into which you can plug, certain minds into certain parts of the circuitry based on their utility. So the long story of tech is about the analogizing of the mind to a computer in certain ways. And one of the stories I tell in my book is the rise of this idea of the information economy or the knowledge economy in the 1990s in the midst of the first dot-com boom. And in a way, we never left that. I mean, the US economy continues to be defined by the wealth and fortunes of a pretty small number of huge tech companies. And with that, I think has been brought a kind of new understanding of human hierarchy and human superiority and inferiority, which ranks people according to their usefulness for the machine. I mean, for lack of a better way of putting it. And IQ becomes the kind of generic way to talk about the utility of the human brain for the functioning and onward expansion of a computer-driven digital capitalism.
There is an argument that I think has a lot of traction, particularly on the left, that says something like the nature of capitalism is that there is this excess labor force that you have to do something with or rationalize away.
Yes. And what do you do with that labor force? Before I let Briahna Joy Gray continue, well, hold on. There's this. I got a bad feeling about this. Breaking. Elon Musk has just confirmed that multiple Optimus robots now roam Tesla's lab unsupervised, charging themselves when needed. I'm in pain. I'm in great pain and I'm afraid. I'm in great pain and I'm afraid. Let's play this. Now, I don't want to play because there's copyright music, but here's the robot walking around. Get back to work, human. The beatings will continue till morale improves. If you don't work harder, we're going to turn you into Soylent Green. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is frightening. Oh, God in heaven, this is frightening. But maybe I'm panicking for no reason. Okay. Going to the nearest charging station. Okay. Back to work later on. Okay. Okie doke. Oh, no. I'm reminded about that Amazon robot that was working till it finally collapsed. Mastermind Hour says the definition of a butt plug. Oh, hey, if you're a server serving food, you lost your job to a robot. They got the popcorn. Not liking the future. I'll be back. This is pathetic. There's our jobs, y'all. Not liking the future. And when it gets home, it's a sex slave. What a bunch of clownery. Robot has to go. Just my luck. I had to be born in this era. Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. Listen. Sit down. Hey. Shush. It's only going to get worse.
So having a racially pluralistic society where you have a subcomponent, a very neat 10% in America of the population that has historically been African American, that can be blamed for their own downward mobility, regardless of slavery, regardless of Jim Crow, creates a narrative that says it's not that capitalism is that bad, it's never going to happen to you, it's going to happen to this racialized other. You tell a story in your book about how that emerged as a necessity as we moved from a sort of imperial context, empire, to a more democratic context.
Well, and again, I encourage everyone to check out the full interview that Briahna Joy Gray did, but we're not entering into a very good future here. Okay. There's going to, if things go the way I think they're going to go, it's going to be like, remember that CBS article, 60%, the bottom 60%, you mean the majority, 60% of American households, that number is going to rise up to 80. We're going to have a high ruling class, and all the jobs will belong to the robots. As for the rest of us, here's your Soylent Green wafers. Don't ask where they came from. And BW, I'm going to leave you with this a final word. Now that robots from sci-fi are real, kid, do you think they'll make Asimov's rules real? I don't know anymore. Maybe. But I have a bad feeling. I just got a real bad feeling.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Whether or not in Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
I don't mean to sound alarmist, but most of what they let you read is garbage. Most of it's designed to warp our minds until subconsciously you find you'll take the time to lick their boots free of grime and wipe their minds free of tarnish. Oil is the centerpiece, a body count of millions is the garnish. So how's it feel to know we funded every carcass? That every year our taxes pay for carpet bombing Gaza under shroud of darkness? Or that we spend enough a year to house and feed each homeless person in the streets on turning families in apartment buildings in the Middle East to bloody craters full of charred garments? And our media is silent at best. At worst, they can find it in themselves to call war crimes clashes and label children burned to ashes terrorists who played a stupid game and reaped the harvest. And every time we try to paint the truth, the news sends their slugs to suck off all the varnish and distort it into something harmless. See, the media will hang you by your feet and keep you half asleep. So yes, I'm here to set you free, but freedom won't be sweet because you'll fall 1,000 feet when I come cut you out your harness. They say those who dream the deepest fall the farthest. They also say that home is where the heart is. But if home for you is Gaza, Netanyahu's got you painted as a target. Perhaps it's not the impact, but it's what you see when falling that will hit the hardest. Maybe it's the sound of all those children crying out in those apartments that will hit the hardest. Maybe all those little bodies scattered in the dirt will hit the hardest. Maybe seeing human lives assigned such little worth will hit the hardest. Maybe it's the knowledge that you're paying for the darkest of atrocities committed on this earth that will hit the hardest. Maybe it's the knowledge that we give 10 million a day to oppressors who possess the kind of Medicare you'll die in debt before you see that's gonna hit the hardest. Maybe then you'll see you've always had more in common with the commoners whose slaughter we fund every day in Gaza than our senators and bosses. Maybe then you'll see our country never had a conscience. Maybe then the retroactive guilt will make you nauseous. Maybe what hits harder than the impact is the act of being conscious, of knowing your complicity and helplessness to try and stop the bloody deeds of Congress. And that no matter who's in office, America preserves its foreign interests by whatever means its greed demands, however monstrous. You see, we'll always need a place to drain our contras. And Biden's got a backup plan should harm befall the Holy Land. Wipe it off the map, he'll draw it back on with an iron hand. He demands an Israel or reasonable effigy to exercise democracy and colonize the Middle East. Regardless of the human cost of phosphorus atrocities, bought and paid with money they rerouted out the budget for the non-essential things like ever making Flint's water clean. So maybe what hits hardest is the day you see this country for its actual priorities. And nevermore no honest peace attempting sleep. Maybe then you'll look at politicians making speeches like a blood-encrusted beast espousing destiny to empty seats and fellow leeches. As the gauntlet of democracy extends its brutal reach, like a giant wave of trash come to crash on foreign beaches. Maybe build a base, throw a flag down and heavily pollute the region. Rape your ecosystems, gut your fauna and congratulate you on your new allegiance. Oops, we mean alliance. This is something mutual unless you're non-compliant. We stole something crucial on which you can be reliant. So maybe what hits hardest is the centrist saying both sides need to stop the violence. And those would be the very same centrists saying we should all accept police brutality, who hem and haw and clutch their fucking pearls and spend their time condemning riots. But very soon will come the day the centrists all get censored like the rest of us, and pious as they'll try to be, they won't stay quiet. But they'll just end up shouting in the void that they were also quick to render us subscribers. And it will be too late to light the fires. So far away tonight, they burn the spires of a region set ablaze for which you've paid for every pyre. Which is why your checks weren't all $600 higher. And call it foreign interests or American desires. This is why your checks weren't all $600 higher. Far away tonight, they burn the spires of a region set ablaze for which you've paid for every pyre. Foreign interests or American desires. This is why your checks weren't all $600